Hello everyone, welcome back to the another virtual class of history. So today we are going to discuss about Quit India movement. The causes of Quit India movement we'll discuss one by one. The first one is failure of Crips mission. Second one, Japan posed a serious threat to India. Third one, worsening of communal problems. And the fourth one, increase in the prices. So before we discuss these causes in detail, we need to understand about the Crips mission. Why was Crips mission sent to India? What was the purpose behind the coming of Crips mission to India? So let me tell you a background about the Second World War. The World War was going on in India. The movement was going on. Okay. In the meantime, the war became worse for England. At that time, Germany attacked Russia in the year 1941. Okay. And Japan joined the Axis power. After joining the Axis power, Japan made a sudden attack on the American fleet at Pearl Harbor. Japan very soon captured Indonesia, Malaya, Burma, and marched towards Assam. So they came very close to the doorsteps of India. British army faced defeat after defeat. Thus, the war came in India's doorstep. The British government was in desperate condition for cooperation of the Indians in the war. In this changed situation, America, Russia, and China requested the British authorities to reconsider the demands of the Indians. The British government then sent Sir Stuart Crips, a member of the war cabinet, to India after the fall of Rangoon to the Japanese. So Crips mission came to India on 22nd March 1942. So the main intention of Crips mission coming to India was to get the support of the Indians during the war. The movement was going on that was disturbing the British government in the war. So his intention, Sir Stuart Crips' intention, was to seek some settlement with the Congress. So after much discussion with the Indian leaders, he announced his proposal in the form of a draft declaration on 30th of March 1942. Crips' proposal was placed in front of the table. So what proposal Crips mission had come with? Sir Stuart Crips, who had come to India with a proposal, what were the proposals like? Number one, dominion status would be granted to India immediately after the war. That means land dominated by Indians would be granted to Indians after the war, soon after the war. Okay. Number two, immediately after the war, constitution making body would be set up. It would consist of members from British India as well as the native states. British India, the territories of British India, and the native states will also be included in framing the Constitution of India. Number three, the constitution so framed, whichever constitutions will be framed after the war, would be accepted by the British government on condition that any Indian princess, if desired, could remain outside the Indian Union and may negotiate directly with the British government. This point number 3 must be noted. Okay, princely states will be given the chance to decide their future. If they want to remain out of the Indian Union, they can directly negotiate with the British authority. And number 4, actual control of defense and military operations during the war period would be retained by the British government. So these were the proposals being placed by the Crips mission. Sir Stuart Crips had placed this proposal in front of the Indian leaders. So this Crips mission was completely rejected by the Congress, Muslim League as well as other small parties. So why was the Crips mission, we can say the Crips mission was completely a failure. So let us discuss about why was Crips mission not accepted by the Indians one by one. The first point that Congress rejected the Crips mission was that Gandhiji was of opinion that from the very beginning the Britishers had been promising them, but they did not fulfill a single promises. So Gandhiji condemned the proposal as by saying that it's a post-dated check on a crashing bank. Check is given, but of a crashing bank. So Gandhiji did not accept the Crips proposal. Okay. Then point number 2, Muslim League rejected the offer because this did not ensure Pakistan, because in 1940 they already had held a session at Lahore, and in which they had come out with a conclusion that they are going forward with the demand of two-nation theory, demand for Pakistan. So within the Crips proposal there was no discussion regarding the creation of Pakistan. That's why Muslim League rejected Crips mission. Number 3, Hindu Mahasabha rejected the idea as it feared the partition of the country. It feared the partition of the country. And number 4, as you know, the princely states, the people of the princely states had no right to send their representatives to the proposed constitution making body. People of the princely states, they also did not agree to this because they were not given the right to send the representatives to the proposed constitution making body. So altogether Crips mission was a failure. Okay, I hope you understood it. So failure of Crips mission, coming of Crips mission completely failed. The proposals were rejected by the Congress, Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha as well as the native states. So this was number 1 cause of the Quit India movement. Okay, now next one, the next important cause, I have not mentioned it over here, that also I'll tell you. So as per the, so another important cause, I'll try to I'll make it clear that the first roundtable conference was a failure, second roundtable conference was a failure, and in a third roundtable conference, my dear, government have come up with a new act known as Government of India Act 1935. So in the year 1935, the Government of India Act 1935 was passed. So as per the Government of India Act 1935, election was to be held. Okay, and in 1937 election was held. And in that election, Congress became successful in almost all the provinces. Altogether 14 provinces were there. Out of 14 provinces, in 9 provinces, Congress formed the government. Okay, so at that time, the Congress ministries were formed in all the 9 provinces, as well as in 2 of the provinces, coalition governments were formed. So when the Second World War started, my dear, in the year 1939, without taking the Congress ministers into confidence, India was dragged into the war. So the Congress ministers also resigned. The Congress ministers resigned because they felt that without taking them into confidence, India was dragged into the Second World War. Okay, that is also the point. Okay, the first one, failure of Crips mission. Second one, as per the importance, the resignation of Congress ministers. Okay, now let us discuss about Japan posed a serious threat to India. So as I told you that after joining the Axis power, Japan had become more and more aggressive. Japan captured Indonesia, then Japan captured Malaya, Burma. Okay, Burma, now it is known as Myanmar. They have come very close to the doorsteps of India. Very close to the doorsteps of India. So India was the colony of the British Empire. Alright. So Japan had not come to attack India. As India was the colony of the British government, that is why they had come to capture India. So this point we'll discuss later on when we discuss about Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, so at that time the Congress working committee, the Congress, everyone was worried that what will be the fate of our country if Japan attacks India. Then again we will go under a new imperial power. So in this situation the Congress decided to launch a Quit India movement. So with that I'll discuss after completing these two more points. Okay, now the third one, worsening of communal problems. So in the year 1940, Muslim League had held a session at Lahore, and in that they have come up with a two-nation theory. Okay, they had demanded for the partition of India. Congress realized, my dear, at that time that behind this theory there was a hand of the British. Behind this two-nation theory, whose hand is there? British hand is there. That is why Congress felt that if the British withdrew from India, people would sort out the differences in a peaceful and in a lovable manner. So that was their thinking. So if British withdraws from India, then we can sort out our issues in a friendly atmosphere, in a lovable manner. Communal problem. Then last one, the fourth one, increase in the prices. As you know that it was a wartime period. Prices of all the goods has gone high. Each and every people of the country was suffering. Suffering was there from the very beginning, but now the suffering has increased manifold. Prices of all the essential goods has gone very high. So now what to do? Only option left over here is that we need to free ourselves. This is the right time to throw this British government from our country, or else we will suffer a lot. We may not be able to live our life peacefully in future. That is why they decided to start a Quit India movement. So now I'll discuss about Quit India movement in detail. So after the failure of Crips mission and all, okay, Japanese threat and all, Quit India resolution was to be taken. So on 14th of July 1942, Congress Working Committee met at Wardha, and there they adopted a resolution known as Quit India resolution. At Wardha, they took a resolution which came to be known as Quit India resolution. Okay, and this resolution was later on ratified by All India Congress Working Committee in Bombay on August 8th, 1942. 8th August 1942. So the resolution which was adopted on August 8, 1942 demanded the immediate withdrawal of the British from India and setting up of provisional government. So that was decided in Bombay. So resolution stated British rule in India must end immediately. All this discussion, all these decisions were taken in Bombay. Okay, so 8th August 1942 Quit India resolution was finally approved and the movement was to be started. So after that, Gandhiji gave his clarion call to all sections of the people to participate in this movement and said, we shall do or die. We shall do or die. We shall either free India or die in attempt to free our country. In a simple word, karenge ya marenge. Okay, but before Congress could start the movement, the early morning of 9th of August 1942, Gandhiji and all the important leading Congress leaders were arrested. Congress also was declared illegal. Next morning, 8th August resolution was adopted, and the next morning, 9th of August, all the important leaders were arrested. But anyhow, the news of the arrest of Gandhiji as well as other leaders spread like a wildfire all over the country. So what happened next? There were hartals, demonstrations, processions throughout the country. As all the leaders were behind the bars, the young students came forward to support the movement. At the initial stages, the movement was completely non-violent. They now devised their own method of struggle. There were widespread cutting of telephone and telegraph wires, damaging of railway tracks, okay, attacking government buildings and police stations. Gradually, the movement became violent. In many places, administrations ceased to exist. Administration completely failed. In Satara, that is in Maharashtra, parallel government was established. Parallel means two government, British government and Indian government started to function. National government was set up at the Tamluk, that is in Midnapur in Bengal, and national government worked for a long time over there. In Talcher, that is in Odisha, and in parts of eastern UP and Bihar, like a district like Balia, Azamgarh, Ghaziabad, Munger, etc., the government authority practically became non-existent. There the government authority completely failed. They surrendered. Quit India movement got a massive response from the people of Bombay, Bihar, Gujarat, Odisha, Assam, Bengal and Karnataka. But responses was less in Punjab, Sindh and northwest frontier provinces. Government also mobilized all its resources to suppress the movement. Government also now decided, now we need to suppress this movement. So they mobilized all its resources to suppress the movement. Slowly and gradually the movement came to an end. So let me tell you, when all the important leaders were behind the bars, some of the socialist leaders like Ram Manohar Lohia, okay, Jai Prakash Narayan, Aruna Asif Ali, they led the movement. They had escaped from the Hazaribagh jail and they started guiding the movement, hiding themselves underground. They did not come out openly. Through an underground radio, they started to guide the movement. So this way the movement spread to different parts of the country. The storm centers of Quit India movement was, I told you, Maharashtra, okay, West Bengal, then Odisha, okay, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. These were the storm centers where the Quit India movement was very aggressive. But ultimately, the British government became successful in suppressing the movement. So this way, the movement came to an end. So you must remember the date, 8th of August 1942, Quit India resolution was adopted and Gandhiji gave a clarion call that each and every people must join the Quit India movement to free the country from the British rule. Quit means to throw the British authority from our country. Bharat Chodo Andolon. And to some extent it became successful also. Finally we know that they were very powerful. They suppressed the movement with heavy hand. So what was the impact of the Quit India movement? That we'll discuss now. So now, what was the impact of Quit India movement? What was the impact? Number one, Quit India movement did not get the British to quit India, but it shook the very foundation of the British government in India. It showed the British that now the Indians could dare almost anything to gain independence. They now can dare to do anything to gain independence. Okay, number of patriots took to violence and great damages were done to the government buildings. Okay, it aroused in the people the feeling of patriotism, sacrifice, confidence, and made it clear to the British that their days in India are very few. Their rule in India could not continue for a longer period. Their days in India are very few. So in the history of British rule in India, no such revolt had occurred earlier. The youth, the old, the women all joined the struggle for independence. So this was the impact of Quit India movement. So hope you all have understood the entire topic of Quit India movement. So causes I discussed, importance of Crips proposal I discussed, okay, and the courses of the Quit India movement also I discussed, and at last the impact of Quit India movement. So this is all about from this topic Quit India movement. Hope you all have understood it. So this much for today. So we'll meet again in next class. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.